Hello and welcome to Fat Pigeon Reviews with me, Gareth, your host, I guess. Host? Yeah, host, it's fine. Today we're looking at, I mean you can probably tell from the thumbnail of course, but the Devialet Phantom 2. This is the 95 decibel version. They do a 98 decibel version also, but the 95 decibel is this one and it's 350 watts and we're going to have a good look round it. I'll get it down on the table. The reason I'm reviewing this today is because a few weeks ago I've realised that a new shop had opened up around the corner from me, Audio Lounge Leicester. Now I went down there, had a look around, and I actually bought some speakers, my main lounge speakers from there. Some fine audio F500s, which I love them, they're superb. And I got talking to Mark, the owner of Audio Lounge, and we've sort of, he wants to get like a presence on YouTube, and I'm trying to grow the channel. So we've come to like a sort of an arrangement. I'm not getting paid for anything. He's just going to lend me some stuff each week so we can, well, grow my channel, this channel, Fat Pigeon, and we can obviously sort of get him out there on YouTube and get his name known as well. It's sort of advertising, I guess. I mean, there's not many people watching the channel at the moment, but we should grow. Hopefully with more and more products like this, thanks to Audio Lounge, hopefully, and a few of my own things as well, and other people's things. But for today, we are going to concentrate on this Phantom. Also, it comes with cases. Yeah. The cases, they come in a range of colours. Obviously, this is the green one and the orange one. They're actually very good. They're metal clasps on them with a real leather, I think, around the edges. And it's got this little... It has this little tray in the bottom to allow it to sit in there, and it fits real snug. So there's absolutely no way that it can move around within the case. And it's got this lovely velvety soft cushion case inside. And like I say, with the tray, it sits perfectly in there, and you just close it up, it clams it up nice and tight, and it physically can't move with a zip system on it. I mean, it's worth getting a case to protect your speaker. Now, on that, it's worth protecting because this is at the minute, as we make this video today, this is £1,090 for the single unit. Now I've been testing this and playing around with it all weekend. It's very exciting because it's a great bit of kit. It's a great bit of kit. For a Bluetooth speaker, this is the one to beat for me. I'm not a massive fan of Bluetooth speakers. I'm more of a stereo hi-fi sort of guy. The frequency range on this is 18 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz, which is 18 Hertz is low, and this gets low. Now, when I first listened to these, there was actually two set up at Audio Lounge. I'll do some B-roll on the tripod, some photos, a bit of video, because there's nothing more satisfying on this speaker. It's got these aluminium drivers on the side and a full range driver on the front. This is the small one on the front here. But the two aluminium drivers on the side, they proper move around.
Number 9 calling the strong I said, well, bless my soul. You load 16 tons.
I mean, it looks like an alien egg type thing, which is fantastic. It's more of it's a lifestyle speaker, I think they class this as. Now, I'm more of a, like I say, a hi-fi sort of two speakers, but if you get two of these, I did like I say, a sit down and I had a quick listen to these at Audio Lounge, and Mark was very helpful. He set them up for me, and the imaging, the centre image from two of these was fantastic, and the sound stage was actually very wide and sometimes quite high as well. It had quite a high somewhat on some of the vocals. Now the range on these, like I say, it's 18 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz. Now they've not quite got, for me, it doesn't go high enough on the range. There's no real sparkly, like, you know, the cymbals and stuff. I mean, it's all there. It's great. They sound absolutely fine. For a speaker of this size, it does very well. But with, like I say, I just want a little bit more height, a little bit high. The higher frequencies I miss a little bit on it. But again, as far as a Bluetooth speaker goes, this is the one to beat for me. This is a fantastic unit. And then if you get two of them, again, the soundstage imaging is very impressive. So what we'll do is we'll go down to the table, and we'll have a good look round it. I'll get it playing, I'll get the tripod set up, and we can show all the buttons. All the buttons on the top are all like haptic feedback type touch buttons, and we can go through the connections. I mean, the connections, we'll go through the connections on the table, and what it can actually do. So let's go down to the table, and we'll take a look. Right, here we are down on the table for the Devialet Phantom 2 close-up. As you can see on the side here, this is the 3 to 4 inch driver. This is the main base drivers on the side, aluminium. It's got one on either side. On the front here, just below the badge, the Devialet logo badge, this is classed as the full range driver. So this is where the mid-range comes from, and obviously the tweeter's in there as well for your higher frequencies. Now, on the very back, let me just spin her around. On the back here, it's got heat sinks on it, because when you do put some power through this, it does start to get warm. So when you turn the volume up, it can get a bit warm. So this is obviously the heat sinks to disperse the heat properly. Now also on the back here, we have the Ethernet port, a 3.5mm jack as a line in for a turntable. If you've got a phono stage, separate phono stage, or a phono stage built in, you have your power and your on-off button there as well. And with the 3.5mm jack, I think it's also like a digital link as well. So you can it's like an optical coax input, so you can actually put CD players and things like that into it as well. But it's a very simple back. I mean, it's very basic. There you go, power, Ethernet cable for your internet, for your Spotify and stuff direct from the internet, and then your 3.5mm jack, as we said. So if you can plug a turntable into this, like I say, if you've got a phono stage built into the turntable, because I'm a big turntable fan, or you have a phono stage separate, it will just plug straight into there from an RCA to 3.5mm, which is great. Great option to have. What we can do now is we can have a quick look at the buttons on top. So here you can see they're like just touch controls, nothing actually pushes, they're actually flush with the system. The left hand side one here is a link button, and I'll come back to that in a second. And then you've got plus minus for your volume control, play, pause, and then the Bluetooth symbol on the right hand side there is actually like a line in input button. So you can select from Bluetooth and then the line in input at the bottom, and your Ethernet I think as well. But if you hold the Bluetooth button down for 2 seconds, that puts it into pairing mode, and that's how you connect it to your phone. Straightforward, simple, very nice. Back to this link button. Now the link button is dun, 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 for the remote look. That is trying to link to the machine. I've not got it plugged in at the moment, but we will set it up in a few moments. So on this, you've actually got a lovely dial on the that's your volume controls there. In fact, what I'll do is I'll link it up, and we can have a better look at it. But obviously that's skip forwards and backwards on your tracks and play and pause again. But the volume, oh, it's so nice, it's so smooth. And again, this is very weighty as well. So I'll tell you what, let's go back up to me for a second, and then I'll set up the tripod and the controller. And this is the remote. Oh, I need to charge it. But as we said, this is the jog shuffle here on the side to do the volume. It's a lovely smooth action, very nice. Again, like I say, very weighty, and this skips the tracks to the one before and the previous one. We can hear there, and this is your play and pause. Fantastic bit of kit. Turn that up, and there we have the remote. Like I say, it's just a beautiful unit. You can turn it on and off at the bottom there, which is great. And there is your micro USB charger, just to charge the battery on it. And as we say, as it came up earlier, I do need to charge it. So I'm going to have another play around with this for a bit. And I'll see you back on the chair. Welcome back to the chair from the table. Now, it has DSP control unit in it. So it's got a digital sound processor built within it, which alters the sound from your Spotify and things like that for the best correction, for the best sound possible coming from the system. It's got a built-in amp, which is, well, it's a very good amp. It's also got a built-in DAC. So the fact that they call it a lifestyle speaker is literally that reason. It's a lifestyle. It's not, you don't have to have your stereo rack with all your shelves on it. You don't have to buy a separate amp. You don't have to buy a separate DAC. You don't have to buy your separate speakers on separate stands. It does all of it from this tiny little unit, and it does it very well. Actually, it's a very rounded system. I'm actually very impressed with it. It's an exciting piece of kit. Like I said before, it's the wow factor, and it's actually a talking point also, especially on the stands. And you actually get brackets for them as well. You can actually have them on the wall, so they disappear into the room even more. I mean, this would just blend nicely with our decorations, our decor. And you would hardly notice it was there until obviously you turn them on. When you turn them on, it's ha-ha. Again, if you have the two with the sound stage and the imaging, one in either side of the room, it'd be even better. Fantastic. And you haven't got, again, all this. I mean, at the moment, I've got obviously a hi-fi rack and an amplifier and other bits and bobs, and, you know, speakers and speaker stands and cables, and, you know, it gets rid of all the cables for you. All you have to do is get power to it and an Ethernet to it if you like, or it can just be completely wireless on your Wi-Fi network or via your Bluetooth on your phone, which is great for people that want minimalist, and it just tucks and it's hidden out of the way, but it produces very good sound. So I can see why it's a lifestyle choice. In theory, it's a lifestyle speaker, and I can see the appeal behind it. But for me, I like the stereo. I'd have to get two of them. So it has Spotify Connect, AirPlay 2. It has 5.0 Bluetooth. It obviously has your Ethernet ports in the back as well. So yeah, it's readily available with all these different connections. I mean, Bluetooth alone is pretty good through it. I recommend plugging it in via the Ethernet cable, so it actually searches the internet and you get better sound into it, and then obviously out of it. Okay, so I thought I'd do a quick sound test. I mean, I've not got the best microphones in the world, as we know. So if you want to wear headphones, I think you'll get a better sort of feel for the speaker. But the phone's not going to do it and the mic's not going to do it, but it really does fill the room. So here's just a quick tester anyway. So it's something we can get on with, have a quick listen to, just to get a gauge of it. But obviously it's not doing this speaker justice. But here we go anyway. So to summarise, before I shoot off, Phantom 2 from Devialet. It is an audiophile's Bluetooth speaker. If an audiophile was to buy a Bluetooth speaker, I would highly recommend this one. I think this is what would be in an audiophile's house. Now, I'd like to thank Audio Lounge, Leicester, for lending us this to have a play around with it at the weekend. I've had a lot of fun testing it with different tracks, different genres, different volumes, different positionings. It's been great. It's coped with everything I've thrown at it. Apart from rock, I wouldn't. It's a great speaker, but I wouldn't recommend rock on it. It's a little bit mushy. Now, when I say mushy, separation. I like separation. I like to be able to hear, obviously, the drums separate to the cymbals and the vocals, and then the bass guitar and the electric guitar. I want to have separation so I can actually tell that there's all these different instruments in there. But certain rock tracks with this, it just sort of mushes them together. And you don't really get that separation. But again, only on the rock tracks, really, when there's a lot going on, can't quite cope with the separation. But all that aside, yeah, it's a Audiophiles Bluetooth speaker. I'm sticking with that. Okay, thank you so much for watching my little review on the Devialet Phantom 2. Hopefully, I'm going to do a review, I think, next time on my Fine Audio F500s. That's what I want to try and get onto next. I'm hoping that the mic's been okay. I've had to move it around a few times because it's a new microphone for better sound, so you can hear my beautiful vocals more, of course. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.